Okay, wait, hold on a freaking minute. If I go ahead and then throw this thing right down into there, it just pops out over here. Is it possible that it's like slipping? Yeah, it's missing it entirely. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more FTB Inferno. Today, we're finally going to be setting up our ore processing for the ores that we're getting from our excavators over in the end. And as you can see right back here, we're gonna be doing this with some more create. Had to make a new boiler because that one over there can't handle anymore. So we had to set up a whole new one right over here with the setup that I have in mind. And it is going to be big. Probably very laggy. So to start off with, we're going to need to get ourselves a few things. First one, I actually think I should have it, which is going to be belts. If I don't have them, yes, this should be more than enough of those. And I mean, thank God, because these things are a pain to get in this mod pack, so it's way different than normal. So that one's fine. The real things that we're going to need, though, are going to be these things here called the crushing wheels. These things are going to allow us to crush down ores into something special that is not quite the final product just yet. Alrighty, I've gotten all the andesite set up, so now if the warped planks will work, we should have everything. So let's just go ahead and put the stone in, and yes, there we go. And thankfully, this actually gives us 2 crushing wheels per recipe, which is how much we need for one belt line. I'm planning on making about 4 of them, so I should only need to do this a few more times. And there we go. We got ourselves all the crushing wheels that we're gonna need for this little setup. So then, after that, now that we've gotten those things, the next things that we're going to need is going to be this encased fan. This is actually going to be one of the easiest things to get, but we're gonna need a lot of it, so then it becomes the most annoying. And I actually don't know exactly how many of these I'm going to need. So it's definitely gonna prove to be a little bit of a challenge. Why'd you stop? What? What? Is it mayhaps? Ah, yes, the server is lagging. Either way, though, we can go ahead and make ourselves a few of these propellers to work with. About 10, maybe? For right now, those should be good. Then we can go ahead and mix all those together, and then we'll be able to get ourselves only 6 of these, because I just noticed I'm out of shafts. Now we can go ahead and make the rest of these. Beautiful. Okay, so we have the fans, we have the belts, and we also have the crushing wheels. The last things that we're just gonna need is a few of these brass funnels and brass tunnels, which is basically just the same recipe, just flopped over a little bit. And these electron tubes are very easy. It's just more of those crushed iron plates, and then some of this rose quartz with some of the diamond sand grit. So, I'm gonna gather up those things real quick, and then we're gonna start building our processing setup.
Later.
Alrighty, so I got everything I need. I already laid out the crushing wheels and all of the chain drives for all this stuff, because, like, that would have just been boring to see, and it really would have been important, and you all get to see it right now. I actually didn't need as many as I did, because by laying them out like this and having them go in the way I did, it actually ended up working out well. In a few intervals, I needed to use some of the gearboxes instead of the actual chain drives, so those ones would spin differently. But for the most part, it's actually pretty good. Actually, from judging by the ones that are spinning in the same direction, it's these 2 right here that I changed. Either way, though, before we put down the belts, we're going to want to put down the fans, because otherwise, those would just get a little bit weird. So if we go ahead and put these guys down, we can see they do indeed go up in the right way. Now, judging by all of this, I am going to need to go ahead and grab a couple more fans. But this should be fine. We can go ahead and lay these ones out first, and then I can go ahead and grab those other ones off screen when I'm doing more off screen stuff. So now that we got those guys ready, the next thing we're gonna need is actually going to be some lava. Now I'm gonna wanna make sure I do not stand in front of this thing anymore, because now it will hurt me. But the reason we're doing it like this is because lava particles from melting will actually go through belts. So if we go ahead and click one of the belts on this side, send it over to here, now it's still gonna go through. So the stuff on there is still going to melt. Now, there is a substantial amount of space before that, and that is because that is going to be before the melting process. So, oh yeah, I'm fire resistant. Oh, nope, I'm not fire resistant. I'm very much not fire resistant. Okay, well, I mean, there we go. Now with those things on top of it, it should be fine now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's all ready and raring to go. So then after that, we're just gonna want to go ahead and put these blocks over here. Any kind will do. And then we can just go ahead and then slap these temporary chests right here. These are temporary because this is all just going to be for testing purposes, just to make sure it works. Once it does work, I want to get these to be like entangled blocks to go over to my main storage system. So now we can go ahead and set these things up right here. What we have here is we have some brass tunnels. Go ahead and put those babies right here. This is where I'm going to determine if things ended up actually being a bit too close together, because that was something I was very slightly worried about, but hopefully it should all work out just fine. So then, yeah, actually, these are too close together, because what I'm intending to do is going to be something with filters to filter out the things that cannot be smelted, so those things don't go over this, and it'll just take those things straight into a storage system. But if I wanted to do that, I need to put the funnel here, which I have no room for. Oh. Well then, oh, and there goes my chest. Okay then, so I guess I did need all the gears after all. Okay, redesign time, which will take me, oh, so long. Okay, so as y'all can see, I made a few minor changes. So right down here with these paths of cobbled blackstone, those were where there were ones originally. I removed those so that way I could make space for these. So we are only going to have 3 of them, which is fine. So now we have the setup here that I was looking for. I went ahead and actually already put in the filters that I'm going to need as well, because these things do have filters for them. I also forgot that I was actually going to need smart chutes for all this, so I went ahead and grabbed those. They were very simple recipes. Chutes weren't very complicated either, so it's actually very easy. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have the smart chutes with our entangled blocks that will put items that can be crushed into here. And then with these brass tunnels, with these filters that we have right here, which are set to can be smelted, with this one it's on allow, with these ones going on front, only the ones that will be allowed to be smelted will go here, and only the ones that can be smelted will not be allowed through here, as this one also has a deny list, so I set that here so that way if it can still be smelted, it can't go through. But once they cannot be smelted, that means they've been smelted, and then we'll go into this chest. The same is also said for over here. This one also has cannot be smelted, so that way those ones will go over to here, which will then end up in these chests. I've done that for all of these. Now for these smart chutes right over here, we're actually going to want to go ahead and actually remove all filters on these ones, because these ones were left over from when I thought I'd have more, which ended up actually working out, because now we want to change these to can be crushed. That way, that will then also be here, and then click check. So now we just need to go ahead and then select these onto here. The game kind of glitches out a bit when I try to set the filters, but that should be fine. So then, for can be crushed, that should only encompass a few things. So if I were to take, say, this netherite right here, do I not have any more netherite? I do not have any more netherite. Okay, well, I do have some ancient debris in the rest of the storage system, so that's fine. So if I put this into here, it cannot go through. That is good. I'm pretty sure cobblestone can be crushed, however, so we throw that into there, and then, yeah, that... Wait. Okay, well, it's still smelting, so unfortunately that means that's not gonna go through, but, like, wait a minute. Something ain't right here, like, this thing... Yeah, it should only be can be crushed. But... the cobblestone can't be crushed. Okay, wait, hold on a freaking minute. If I go ahead and then throw this thing right down into there, it just pops out over here. What? Okay, so here's what's weird about this. So, the crushers should be crushing the cobblestone down into gravel, and then that cannot be smelted, so that should have gone into here. But it did not. it actually skipped right past this. I have a theory. Is it possible that it's like slipping? Yeah, it's missing it entirely. Okay. So these things are too tall somehow?
1 hour later.
I am an idiot. And you're all gonna understand why in a second. So these wheels, you know how the crushing wheels work? They have to spin in opposite directions of each other for them to have the stuff crushing. Well, apparently they can also go backwards. So by me having them the way I was before, this is the direction it was. You go through, doesn't work. I had them spinning the wrong way. So I just attached a bunch of vertical gearboxes underneath all of them, and now they work properly. Oh my freaking gosh. That was so unbelievably stupid, but yes, they all indeed do work now. So now, if I were to go ahead and grab, say, let's go ahead and grab ourselves this iron ore right here. Give me the iron. There we go. Then we can also go ahead and grab emerald. There we go. We got 2 emerald, I guess. Okay, so we go ahead and put the iron right in here. That'll then get crushed down and then turn into that iron ore. And then it'll only be allowed through there, and then it'll be stuck right here until it is finished smelting. And then it goes right into here, turning into two iron ingots. Then, if we were to go ahead and throw in our emerald ore, that should then get smelted down, and then those things will get thrown in here, and we actually get ourselves some nuggets of experience. So I'm actually going to want to go ahead and make a drawer for that too. But that'll be fine. So there we go. All of this now functions as intended. That is freaking awesome. So now, all I need to do with these things is just turn these into the entangled blocks for the various places I need them. And then this processing will be completely finished up.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Alrighty, I gathered up the entangled blocks. I actually have these ones over here piped out to the entangled block, just in case I like add anything in the future, or if there's like extra stuff that I don't actually have that I missed when I was examining to make sure I got everything. This way it acts as kind of like a buffer for those. These ones are just, well, I mean, it's got this one right here, so yeah, that already acts as a buffer in itself. So all that's left is for us to use that one right here to these entangle blocks. Those ones are entangled over to that one over there. This one is for the processes. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. It should start dropping everything that can be crushed as long as it was properly listed to that. Yep, that one's got quartz. That one's got quartz. It would appear that my system likes using up the quartz, but that's fine. So once all of these have run through, because it's going in stacks, it should just start dropping all of those off. And yeah, it does actually drop like the original stone that the ores are in. So I do actually get netherrack being smelted, which is also giving me some nether bricks. So yeah, we've also got some other unintended things we're getting here. We're getting a glass farm. We're getting cinder flour from whenever the netherrack gets crushed. We're getting flint and glass from like the gravel. So that's fun. This is honestly the most create I've ever done in one sitting, and I never intend to do this much again. Like, seriously, this is the exact reason I did not do a create series, because like, look at how long this video has been so far. This has been, at least as my recording, barely 19 minutes of recording. For you all, it's probably short. And, I've been doing this for 3 hours, give or take. This is the exact reason I never am going to do a create series. Just so much time for so little. There was so much more I wanted to do today, and it's like, I'm not even sure I can, because like, another thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to set up some more dimensional mine shafts, because, you know, I never actually did that on screen, so I kind of wanted to do that, just kind of walk y'all through a little bit of it. But Because, you know, that way we could get some more ores, because a lot of these ores that we're getting for our processes don't actually include some of the other things that we need, like diamond and lapis. But it's like, at the end of the day, do I really want to go off and do that? Yeah, actually, it's not going to take that much time, so we're going to go ahead and get the dimensional mine shafts. We're also going to go ahead and get the miners to set those guys up. They will need to be restocked every once in a while, because as unfortunate as it is, these guys do have a durability. Alrighty, got all the ingredients ready. So, what we need for the miner part, the ore miner, is we're going to need to go ahead and put this lamp here, and then we're going to need our spirit attuned crystal, gold, and then a block of isnium and our isnium block. And then after that, we should just need to throw in fascinating. Did I miss something? Okay, nobody say anything, but I might have forgotten to move the candles back over to here. But don't tell anybody, okay? It totally didn't happen. So now we should be able to throw this in here. Yeah, there we go. Completely on the first try without any other difficulties whatsoever. So now we go ahead and have all those things put in here, and then we got ourselves our ore miner. There we go. Now all those things I can make again later, but for right now, the next thing that is on the list is going to be to put gold here, then 1, 2, 3, 4 dark stone here, then a spirit tuned crystal, and then a block of isnium, and then after that, we should just need to put down our next block of the, book of the genie. So then we can go ahead and have those things going into here, and is it gonna absorb the stuff? Oh wow, this one takes forever. Dude, I sped this up to 16 times. Dude, imagine if I didn't do that. This thing would take forever. But there we go. Now we got that. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these, and then we'll show you all the final product.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alrighty, and here it is. Yep, it's that underwhelming. So what I've done is I've just sent all these over here so that way they can be piped up to our drawer wall right here. And we'd have these obsidian chests for all the stuff that is not actually going to be in the thing. So all that's left for us to do is just put these right into here, and then that should generate us some ores after a little while. It's gonna generate us a good bit of ores every time. So yeah, there we go. Now that's in iron ore, coal ore, and tin. Very nice. And they have a full thing of 400. Awesome. So that could be increased if I had unbreaking, but I do not. So every time I want to replenish this, I'm gonna need to do this all over again. Really, the most annoying thing about all this is really just the feathers, actually, because I don't have anything that generates those. I mean, I have the chicken herder, but those guys are terrible. So did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last video where we made the excavators from immersive engineering to mine us some ores. Bye-bye!